Hi, everybody. This is Randy Suits with a letter and a song. The letter for today, September 22, is my voyage from Capetown to London. After working until 4:30 p.m., we were shuttled back to our rooms at the B&B to check out and eat. Since we had fish, that is hake, for lunch, at about 1 p.m., my decision was to wait until we dined on Flight 42 departing South Africa at 9:20 p.m. Our shuttle driver turned into the parking garage at the airport, and rather than to pay a 2 rand parking fee, he terrified all 5 of his passengers by backing down a 1-lane, one-way entrance road into a single lane of speeding traffic. Very unsettling, to say the least. Once in the air, we were served a drink and roast beef dinner. I watched one movie, Conviction, and to my amazement, I slept for most of the trip. You know that I can never sleep on our overseas flights. Thank God for 7 hours of sleep on a 12 hours flight. The plane was filled, and a 6-year-old Danish girl slept in the lap of her mother, 2 seats from me, and her feet and legs thrashed me all night until she awoke about an hour before I awoke. It wasn't a sound sleep, but it got me to London at 9:20 a.m. When we touched down at Heathrow, we scampered to get through customs and took the Heathrow Express, the underground, to Paddington Station, also underground, to Liverpool Station. We took a train from Liverpool Station to Edinburgh, Scotland. Since all commercial flights to Scotland were booked, we took a 6.5-hour train trip to Edinburgh. British trains are better than U.S. trains. The porters treat passengers with courtesy, kindness, and consideration. We were met at the Edinburgh train station by a limousine and whisked to a huge manor in nearby countryside on the outskirts of Edinburgh. They had a greeter to show us to our rooms, give us a brief orientation, our day 1 itinerary, and each of the 5 of us had to fill out a registration form like a hotel. We were given 30 minutes to wash up, settle in, and refresh ourselves before eating. Then I called you. We were then treated to a hot Scottish meal of beef stew, hot crusty bread, baked potato, and dessert of lemon tart. I went out in the cool Edinburgh evening to walk, but I thought better of it. I was too tired. I decided to go to bed early instead. Tonight, as I lay listlessly in bed, I'm thinking of you. I miss you. When I'm tired, it is apparent that I rest better when we're together. I ask the Most High God to watch over you, protect you, and keep you for himself, myself, and us, until by his wonderful grace and love we are together again. I love you tonight in Edinburgh, Scotland, as I loved you in Capetown, South Africa. You are here with me in my heart, mind, and soul, and that turns my loneliness into joy. All my love, your Kohane. Yeah. When you're away from the people you love, a letter is a good thing. It's a relaxing thing, for one thing. It gives you something to do with your boredom. You can call home, and even if you talk for an hour, it's really not quite enough, is it? You miss your home, and the person you love, and all the people you love if you got children there too. Anyway, that's was a story about my arrival to Scotland. And I'm going to do an old song today for the song. Old Shep, it's called. I remember having a dog, and this is a touching song. So, when I was a lad and old Shep was a pup, o'er hills and meadows we strayed, just a boy and his dog, we were both full of fun. We grew up together that way. I remember the time at the old swimming hole when I would have drowned beyond doubt. But old Shep was right there. To the rescue he came. He jumped in and helped pull me out. So the years sped along, and at last he grew old. His eyesight was fast growing dim. Then one day the doctor looked at me and said, I can't do no more for him, Jim. With a hand that was trembling, I picked up my gun and I aimed it at Shep's faithful head. But I just couldn't do it. I wanted to run, and I wished that they'd shoot me instead. I went to his side and I sat on the ground. He laid his head on my knee. I stroked the best pal that a man ever had. I cried so I scarcely could see. Old Sheppy, he knew he was going to go, for he reached out and licked at my hand. He looked up at me just as much as to say, we're parting, but you understand. Now old Shep, he is gone where the good doggies go, and no more with old Shep will I roam. But if dogs have a heaven, there's one thing I know: old Shep has a wonderful home. I remember that song when I was a young guy. A young boy. That was popular. Red Foley sang that. Very touching song for anyone who's had a pet. You know how much like family they are. And I thank God for the pets that he gave us, for the animal world. Think of the joy that we have through the animals that he made, the creatures that walk upon the earth, the birds that fly, and even those that crawl on the earth. Although I have to admit, I don't really care for snakes. And I definitely hate that old serpent, and I'm talking about the devil, who wars against man constantly, who the Lord himself declared war against in Genesis 3:15. He will crush your head and you will strike his heel. And of course, Jesus Christ did crush his head at the cross. And he's redeemed us and given us access to the throne of grace. This is the legacy that we have to follow and to participate in as children of the Most High God in the salvation provided by Jesus Christ, who resurrected from the dead and gave his life for us on the cross. Well, let's give thanks for everything that God is giving us. Always, every day, give thanks. For Paul said we should be giving thanks in all things. And even though sometimes that's hard and almost impossible at times, it's still giving thanks is beneficial and helpful to the soul. And now, my friends, may the Lord, even the Most High God, be with you in all that you think, say, do, and are. Thank you for being, and God willing, we'll be with you again tomorrow.